All right, let's get it going. Let's get it going. Busy week. Shorter week for many. Thanksgiving as we roll into it this week. 55 million of us are pretty much going to be hitting the road. A lot of New England traveling. People going to see relatives and family and doing the Thanksgiving Day thing. I think the traffic's going to start earlier. I noticed that these holidays, it used to be the day before. I think we're like starting tomorrow, especially with some, I don't know if you've heard, we have some weather, as they call it, moving in tomorrow night. Today's looking pretty nice, J-Dog, to start our week. Monday, good morning, Jack Heath, J-Dog on the boards. This is Good Morning New Hampshire on the Pulse of an H, our network of news talk stations, pretty much spanning across New Hampshire up into Portland, Maine, and beyond on the Pulse of an H. Today's looking nice, J-Dog. Got some sunshine out there, some nice-looking skies, a little bit, nice brisk morning, as they say, if you're out and about early. And then tomorrow's okay, J-Dog. Tomorrow night, though, we have some rain moving in. Wednesday looks like a sort of let's just say, a windy, wet day on Wednesday. And then things clear out for Thursday, right? Thanksgiving Day.
The S word, snow. There's going to be some snow certain places, Jack. So we are not, we're not going to be completely out of the woods in terms of great weather. But it's okay.
It's going to be kind of a mix.
Fine. It'll be fine. Wednesday. It'll be fine by then. Black Friday, we'll see as well.
Wow, coming right up.
Yeah,
and that's going to some of the retail on the online side are going to go right into Monday.
Cyber Monday?
Yeah, well, they want to, we'll have Doug Tengden checking in a little bit. It's all about holiday sales, J-Dog, sell as much as we can.
Next week will be more insane because you've got Cyber Monday and then you've got Giving Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right, next week. Yeah. All right, hey, we have a couple good things before I get into some of the beef of the matter, but as we get going. Former First Lady Rosalind Carter passing away at 96 at home. She had only briefly started hospice. I'm just going to say this quickly out of the gate. What an amazing couple. What I see. This part I don't have locked in my head because the former president, Jimmy Carter, he began hospice months ago, J-Dog, dealing with cancer, and now still alive, right? But was it 77 years they were married? Is that what I heard? Wow, can you just think about that? What a couple, though, And by the way, a testament to the importance of New Hampshire's first in the nation presidential primary, which will be this year, Tuesday, January 23rd, because Jimmy Carter, kind of Plains, Georgia, former governor, came out of nowhere that, kind of was in New Hampshire. All of a sudden, who is this guy? Who's it? Who? Jimmy who? Became president. So, Democrat Jimmy Carter, but Rosalind Carter passing. Also, police have been busy in New Hampshire to show you the importance of law enforcement. I just want to take a moment and to go back to Friday afternoon and that situation at the state hospital in Concord. Of course, the former Franklin chief working security there now, or was, up until he was killed in the line of duty Friday afternoon when I guess he had been a patient in 2016. This guy enters and kills him, but a state trooper on duty in the state hospital shot the suspect. But, J-Dog, that could have been, as bad as it was, and thoughts and prayers to the former chief, Bradley Haas of Franklin. Could have been a far worse situation. State police, that state trooper doing his job, and thoughts and prayers there. And by the way, tomorrow, Tuesday, I'll be live at Auto Fair Honda in Manchester across the mall in New Hampshire doing the show. And it was scheduled. It's our 15th anniversary of my weekly New Hampshire State Police segment, sponsored by Auto Fair tomorrow, celebrating 15 years of educating and informing the public on the men and women and the work of public safety in the state police. We're going to have Colonel Hall will be there and others who have been taking part in this segment. And we've decided we're going to dedicate the show tomorrow in part to the former Franklin Police Chief, Bradley Haas, who was killed in the line of duty Friday afternoon. So we're going to talk a little bit about him and just the dangers of law enforcement. And, of course, this morning, J-Dog in Franklin, you heard Mike Pomp in our news talking about that standoff barricade situation in Franklin this morning, early this morning, and then, of course, resulting in police-involved shooting and a fire at that residence, one dead. So a lot of stuff happening. Coming up this morning, this is kind of an interesting story. Michael Graham, New Hampshire journalist, posted a story this morning. On Friday's show, if you were joining us, Friday's show, I had Senate President Jeb Bradley on the show, and we have him on every Friday, just for the record. We have him on every Friday, and we have Senator Lou D'Alessandro as well, leading Democrat, Senator Bradley, the Senate president, Republican. So we have both senators, and Senator Bradley's regular segment. And we started, the back half of the interview became more about the Senate president's letter to President Dean at University of New Hampshire in Durham, along with Senator Innes, Dan Innes, state senator, talking about anti-Semitism on the UNH campus, particularly one professor who Bradley says shouldn't be teaching there, and he wants a condemnation at least from President Dean for her remarks that are clearly viewed by anyone objectively as anti-Semitic, anti-Israel, and still no comment from the University of New Hampshire administration. So Senator Bradley brought up on my show Friday, and this is what Graham wrote about in New Hampshire Journal, kind of a big wake-up call, because the Senate president, they're sitting on about $100 million in appropriations of state money going to UNH and UNH, University of New Hampshire. And Senator Bradley intimated in my interview Friday that that always could be reviewed. He wants President Dean to comment and basically condemn the comments of this professor at University of New Hampshire. So Senator Brad's going to join us at 9:20 to see if he's heard anything yet from the university. Because clearly, free and open speech is a very good thing on college campuses. We don't see enough of it at places like Harvard University, and UNH a few months back had ranked fairly high, actually, for that. But hate speech is different. And why the silence from the administration on this one, we're not sure. But Senator Bradley will be joining us in just a few moments live as we get going on this Monday morning. Good Morning New Hampshire, the Pulse of an H. When he brought up that $100 million, I'm sure he's going to get the attention of UNH and the president, because that's critical money to operate. And the budget, basically, from the state supports the state university. $100 million. So Senator Bradley is still not satisfied. We're going to have more on that coming up. The incidents, by the way, at UNH include UNH students. There was a gathering, and they were chanting from the river to the sea, Palestine shall be free. That means the elimination of Israel, the destruction of the Jewish state of Israel. Someone actually drew a swastika on campus, a swastika, like Hitler Nazi swastika on campus. Now, last time I checked, that's clearly hate. That's anti-Semitic. That's not free and open speech. There's a big difference between that and hate. And the recently tenured UNH professor that Graham talks about in the article, and Senator Bradley's concerned about, comparing Hamas terrorists, by the way, to the Jews who fought against the Nazis in the Warsaw Ghetto of Poland during World War II. So Senator Bradley saying free speech is not hate speech. I think the university said on the show Friday, I think that the university has a responsibility to condemn that speech in the strongest possible terms. This professor, by the way, that we were just talking about, we'll talk Senator Bradley, he wrote the letter to the university about this. She's publicly attacked Israel as a racist colonial power, accusing Israel of genocide while calling for the destruction of the nation of Israel itself. She's also a big defender of U.S. Representative Tlaib of Michigan. And it's interesting because I'm not even going to get into this. I can't. It's hard to dignify people who are nuts. You look at the map in and around Israel. There's a little dot there surrounded by all of the Arabic areas. And by the way, there was a ceasefire in place in Gaza before October 7th. Just remember that, please. There was a ceasefire in place in Gaza with the Palestinian people in Israel before October 7th. The terrorists went over into Israel and slaughtered and butchered Israelis, knowing that they would draw this reaction. The Hamas terrorists don't give a damn about the Palestinian people in Gaza. Otherwise, they wouldn't be using children in hospitals as human shields. So let's just remember, this is on Hamas, not on Israel, the bloodshed of innocent Palestinians in this war. Hamas knew that Israel would declare war and go after them for butchering and killing so many Israelis, as they should. It has been the administration's policy to support Israel. So this is happening, right? Not at Harvard, not at Columbia, not at UPenn, not at Cornell, at University of New Hampshire. So we're going to have Senator Bradley coming up on that. Also, we're going to have some good news on this Monday. Always Tom Raffio, President and CEO of Northeast Delta Dental, likes to, we always have some good news in the 11 o'clock hour. And we're going to be joined in the next hour by Dan Egan live. We'll be talking about the Warren Miller, the film series, the movie, the all-time showing coming up Friday in Plymouth. And, of course, Dan Egan getting ready to reopen or open up in a big way. Tenny Mountain. And, by the way, Tenny Mountain ski area right near Plymouth State University. Tenny Mountain, the official ski area of Good Morning, New Hampshire. We'll have regular snow reports on Friday and a lot of fun stuff on Tenny Mountain, cranking it up and getting going and really opening up that mountain again. Great mountain, great ski area, by the way. So Dan will be joining us top of the 10. We're going to take a quick break. Also, Andrew Guyton, because of our specials last week in our Veterans Town Hall from our friends at the Guyton Forge Financial. We'll have some great financial information. Hey, Google. Hey, Alexa, play The Pulse of an H, powered by GMI Asphalt and Paving, now paying up to $35 per hour for seasonal workers statewide. Call Christina, simply text PAVE, P-A-V-E, to 78,000 now. Back with the Senate President and his concerns on basically some action he wants taken at the University of New Hampshire. Back on that on Good Morning New Hampshire, The Pulse of an H in a moment. All right, as we bring in the Senate President, Jeb Bradley, was on with me Friday in his regular segment every week, and we started one of the things I asked him about, because I wasn't too up to speed on this one. I really wasn't. And he had written a letter along with one of his colleagues in the state Senate, Senator Innes, to, I believe, President Dean, as he told us Friday, on behalf of the state, or at least the Senate President's office, concerned about this professor on campus at UNH, basically continuing what he viewed, and I think anyone objectively would view, as anti-Semitic actions and tweet or whatever. I mean, communications. And it's, there's a difference between free and open speech and hate speech. I mean, swastikas on campus, that's hate speech. I mean, you can't do this stuff, and that's happening. So he had some concerns on Friday. Michael Graham, New Hampshire Journal, wrote an article over the weekend about this. And as Senate President, he's joining us again this morning. I appreciate the time on a Monday, Senator. Good Monday morning. Have you heard anything back at all from the university president or the administration on condemning this one professor's basically communications?
You are tacitly accepting it, and that's just wrong.
What do you think the reticence of the administration or the president is on this one? Because I'm thinking of other examples, Senator, which I'm not going to throw out there because I don't like any of this stuff. It doesn't make sense to me. And I agree with you. Free and open speech is one thing. If you want to protest something and, whatever, but there are some things that are just hate. If some folks said something against someone based on their gender or something else, I mean, it's just hateful stuff that, and with what Israel and the Jewish people have endured in history, certainly any of this stuff, calling for the obliteration of a race of people and destruction of Israel, or destroying the country, or anything else, it's ludicrous to me.
Couldn't agree more. And that's why I think, while people have a right to express those views that are outside the mainstream, hurtful, hateful, other people have I think, obligation to stand up and say, no.
Well, you referenced
crosses the line.
Senate President Jeb Bradley live. Good morning, New Hampshire, on this Monday on the Pulse of NH. You referenced on Friday, you brought this up after the holidays, you have to act on $100 million in appropriations for UNH, and you certainly said you wanted to hear something by then.
I would hope so. I mean, it's been a week since Michael Graham published the original story on the professor's tweets and outlining, the swastikas that were found in the bathroom and the, very hateful chant from the river to the sea. And all that the administration, to the best of my knowledge, has said is that, it comes under the heading of free speech, even though some people would find it hurtful. So.
hurtful. It's terrifying if you're a Jewish student on campus.
Yeah, I mean,
a Jewish, student or someone working there on campus. Would you go so far as to say, you're the Senate president, and the Governor Sununu has also condemned this professor's comment, saying that basically that chant equates to another Holocaust, I think was Governor Sununu's comments. But either you or the governor certainly could get President Dean on the phone during business hours, return a phone call, as Senate president of the state, and the governor, given the fact that, you in part oversee the university. I don't know if the board of trustees have said anything, but I would think you could have a conversation with him and at least hear from him. Have you been able to talk to him on the phone?
I have not reached out to him. I thought that I would, starting on Friday, when you highlighted this in your show on Friday, I thought, all right, maybe I'll get a phone call over the weekend. I haven't. So I suspect I will be getting a phone call. And if I haven't, certainly by this time next week, I will be calling him. Obviously, there's a holiday coming up.
Yeah.
But I do think the administration needs to understand that people find that this speech has crossed the line. And we talked about should the professor be fired? Obviously, I believe yes. I also understand the professor has tenure, and it's not an easy thing to do.
That doesn't justify. To me, it doesn't justify, hate speech. I don't care if they're tenured or not. I mean, I would never, and I've met President Dean in the past. I've had him on the show. He's always very open. I think he's done overall a pretty darn good job there. But this one, there's nothing frivolous. There's nothing trite. There's nothing light about this one. There's a clear line. And when it comes to anti-Semitism and basically calling for the destruction of Israel and supporting that as a professor, you wouldn't want me as president there, because I would go down with my HR person and I would clean out the professor's office, bring everything in boxes to the curb, and then say, thank you very much. You are no longer welcome here. And if they wanted to come at me on tenured stuff and all that, that's what lawyers are for. I mean, I just don't even think it's acceptable.
Jack, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm not the president of the university. I know it'll be difficult. Nevertheless, I don't think that there's any place for that. So,
well, it's sad it's taken this long. Keep us posted. I appreciate your courage in the matter, because there is no gray area on something like this. It's hard to justify free and open gray area in this one. Thank you, Senate President Jeb Bradley.
All right, thank you, and to all your listeners, have a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you too, by the way. You too. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We got a lot more coming up. Former First Lady Rosalind Carter, 96 years old. I think it was 77 years of marriage. Jimmy Carter, he's still alive. What an amazing couple. Again, highlighting the importance of the New Hampshire First and Nation presidential primary. And I'll come back on this one. I really think the DNC and the National Democrats have blown this one. I don't think they have any idea taking basically trying to take away New Hampshire's primary. Jimmy Carter would not have become president from Plains, Georgia, if it were not for the New Hampshire First Nation presidential primary. Bill Clinton would not have become president as the comeback kid, finishing second to the late Paul Tsongas, if it were not for New Hampshire's presidential primary. And he told me as such when at WMUR TV as news director. I was invited down with a crew of ours, and we interviewed him in the Oval Office. First real interview we had done, certainly locally, for a half hour after being elected and president in the White House, thanking New Hampshire for basically making him president in terms of the issues, the economy, recession. Yes, Ross Perot ran and maybe hurt former President Bush Sr., but I can point to many others. New Hampshire played a vital role. Governor Sununu, by the way, Chris Sununu, had said on this show a few weeks back, maybe a month ago, when he was spending the day with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, something he's done with Nikki Haley, Chris Christie, and others. He's probably going to jump into this primary in terms of an endorsement, but he had said that he thinks New Hampshire's primary will play a key role once again here in January. Sununu predicting at least one candidate will have a surge to challenge Donald Trump here. I mean, that would, as I've said on the show before, I think the former president has a very strong, consistent lead he's been having in New Hampshire, some 30 points, the latest Emerson College poll and some of these polls showing that. So therefore, I believe he has to win New Hampshire Donald Trump has to win the New Hampshire the presidential primary here, Republican primary, by I think it's 10 points. I think if someone comes in second like Bill Clinton did with the late Paul Tsongas, it shows that Donald Trump's eventual quest for the nomination is not as strong as people thought. And I think if it's anything in that, less than 8 points of a win's a win. Yeah, I mean, look at the game last night. The Broncos, they won by a point. J-Dog over Minnesota. But when you're Donald Trump and you've had a 30-point lead, if anyone comes within 5 or 6 points of that, I think it's a race. But you know what? If Trump wins by 30, it's his nomination. No one's going to stop him. But New Hampshire will ferret that out. New Hampshire will ferret that out. Conversely, if this Dean Phillips out of Minnesota is a Democrat running here, beats Joe Biden in a write-in campaign, then Joe Biden's got problems. And again, I for one, do not believe. I don't see it. I don't think it's possible. I think Joe Biden, and I'm not being mean saying this, he's just too old to be the nominee for Democrats. They're not going to win. They're not going to win if it's Trump or anyone else. They will not win the White House in 2024 if Biden and Harris are the ticket, because Joe Biden's too old. It's something you see almost every day, and you're reminded of it. So that's why these poll numbers show that it's no longer when Biden first ran in the crowd, and people forget, speaking in the New Hampshire primary back in 2020, there were about 18 Democrats running. Don't you? I mean, let's remember, Bernie Sanders won the last two, but you had Mayor Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren, Amy Klobuchar. I mean, the field was huge. A lot of people running here, including Joe Biden. He came, by the way, the president's birthday is today, right, J-Dog? Is that right? 81 years old, president. Happy birthday. But, it was, you look at the New Hampshire primary, it was the sort of I think the behind the scenes power brokering with people like former President Obama, where basically, there's so many people running. Joe Biden can be the consensus. He can beat Trump. And that's what I think, all of them. I think Hillary Clinton, everyone got behind that. And all of a sudden in South Carolina, after, being embarrassed here, Biden goes on to win the nomination. And the feeling was he could beat Trump. This time around, the polls are showing the antithesis. Trump beats Biden. Not even Trump, but Trump beats Biden. With all the legal stuff going on, all the legal distractions, including that case today on whether or not, the former president can speak on that trial going back to the January 6th. So all the stuff, Trump beats Biden. And Democrats nationally know that, I think. So we'll see. A lot of moving parts. But happy birthday. All right, going to take a quick break. Hey, Google, hey, Alexa, play the Pulse of a Night. Jack, Heath, J-Dog, and the board's back in a few.
This is the Pulse of New Hampshire, 107.7 WTPL.
LaChance Water Filtration was voted Best of the Lakes region in 2023. Thank you very much for voting for us. LaChance Water Filtration is not a franchise that is dictated by a large corporation. Large corporations will often sell you proprietary equipment that locks you in with them. We get numerous calls a week asking us to service a system we can't get parts for, and the understandably frustrated customer is then forced to call the franchise back. LaChance Water Filtration is a small family business that has grown by exceeding our customers' expectations. We pride ourselves in installing and servicing systems as if it were our own home. This philosophy is why our reviews are fantastic. LaChance Water is not high-pressure sales. We won't try to dazzle you with soap tests or free soap offers. We believe in educating our customers and letting them decide what they want from their water. If you have any water quality questions or concerns, please reach out to us at 603-732-2533 or find us on the web at lachancewaterfiltration.com to find out how we can make your water be better than bottled.
Ready to elevate your relaxation game? Great Bay Spa and Sauna is your destination for relaxation and luxury. Right here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Great Bay Spa and Sauna is your one-stop destination for the finest selection of hot tubs, swim spas, and saunas, all in stock and ready for you to explore. Now's the best time of the year to make your move with their ultimate inventory clearance sale. You heard right. Save up to a whopping 40% on their extensive range of products. Why? They're making way for the core inventory, and that means all their in-stock models must must go. Step into their new 10,000 square foot showroom and get ready to be amazed. Experience their unique display area where you can try before you buy. Great Bay Spa and Sauna is not just a business. They're a family-owned and operated establishment dedicated to providing you with the finest products and unmatched service. Swing by Great Bay Spa and Sauna Portsmouth today and take advantage of their ultimate inventory clearance sale. Great Bay Spa and Sauna, where relaxation meets choice and affordability.
Listen to the Sports Betting Network on VSiN Radio 106.3 HD2. Relevant, real-time sports betting news and information from legendary broadcasters, professional bettors, and Hall of Fame bookmakers. VSiN is now available on the radio in the Merrimack Valley on WFNQ 106.3 FM HD2. Sports betting news and information 24/7, 365 from VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Stream VSiN at thepulseofnh.com. NHFCU Heroes Honors Accounts for servicemen and women, first responders, and medical professionals. You receive discounts on consumer loans, high-yield savings, along with other discounts and free services. NHFCU's Heroes Honors Accounts. It's the least we can do for a hero like you. Contact us today for details. 603-224-7731, extension 504. Visit nhfcu.org/hero. That's nhfcu.org/hero. Deposits insured by NCUA, a federal government agency.
Good morning, New Hampshire. Powered by GMI Asphalt and Paving. Now hiring seasonal workers. Call Christine or simply text PAVE to 78,000. That's PAVE to 78,000. Now, back to Jack Heath on the Pulse of New Hampshire.
All right, good morning and welcome back on our network of news talk stations across our region here and up into Portland, Maine. WTSN, Seacoast of New Hampshire, right up into York County and Kennebunkport, up into Portland. WTSN 1270 AM, 98.1 FM. Happy Monday morning. J-Dog's he's not as bad mood as he was on Friday. He was kind of grumpy.
No, it's Monday.
No, you were grumpy on Friday.
No, I'm in a worse mood, trust me.
You actually said there are certain Christmas movies you will or will not watch based on the end of the year they were made in. What number?
Movies, period.
Bah humbug. You're in a bad mood.
Mondays. Ugh.
All right, but a nice looking Monday. 55 million Americans going to hit the road. Not even the airport side. Just
I'm
driving.
not one of them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm kind of like did that for many years. You're running around trying to be everything to everyone and travel goes. I get it. Family is what matters, right? Especially now more than ever. But I'm kind of like sleeping in my own bed over the holidays. But whatever you're doing, we have a nice looking Monday for you. Weather-wise, clear out there tomorrow. Okay, and then this rain storm. I guess it's actually a good little system moves in tomorrow night into Wednesday. So Wednesday, kind of a peak travel day. It's going to be on the mixed precipitation side, and with some wind too on the coast. So therefore, I predict tomorrow you're going to see a lot of people jumping on the road, getting there early so they're not having to deal with the weather on Wednesday. And then Thursday clears out for Thanksgiving. Then you're into Friday and good stuff. So whatever you're doing, seriously, I hope you're having a good start to your Monday. Shortened week for many on Thanksgiving. Reminder, big show tomorrow, important show. And I say that sincerely because especially what we saw Friday afternoon happen at the State Hospital in Concord. Former Franklin police chief, now working as a security guard, was killed in the line of duty inside the psychiatric, the area of the state hospital. State trooper killed the suspect. Could have been a far worse situation, but unfortunately it took the life of the former Franklin police chief, Bradley Haas, who was well thought of. And then police were busy in Franklin again early this morning, unrelated, in a barricaded standoff type situation. New Hampshire SWAT. Eventually one person dead. There was a fire there, and it was an officer involved shooting. So we're reminded how dangerous public safety can be when you're on the side of protecting. And so tomorrow, ironically, before all that, we had planned at Auto Fair Honda in Manchester, across from the mall in New Hampshire in Manchester, the 15th anniversary of my state police segment. 15th anniversary. We started, as J-Doc said, in the afternoons, my show, when I started my show. 15th anniversary of our regular weekly segment. 15th anniversary. And Amber and the team at the New Hampshire State Police have put together an all-star day for us tomorrow. And it's really important to honor and thank the men and women who serve in the state police and in public and in all local police, sheriffs, EMTs, first responder, firefighters, but our state police segment. It's the only dedicated weekly segment like this in the entire country on a network of commercial broadcast stations. Isn't that amazing? Think about that. Seriously. Even states like Texas, where I think they're a lot of heads are screwed on correctly when it comes to our public appreciating safety. What a novel concept. No state in the country has a weekly segment dedicated to the work of public safety, those in law enforcement, for them to inform and educate, tell the stories, different career paths, what they do, how they do it. And Auto Fair has been the sponsor. So Auto Fair Honda tomorrow, Manchester. I'll be there 9 to noon. You know, here's a great offer and an idea. I shouldn't have to do this to have you come by and say hi, because right in the showroom at Auto Fair Honda tomorrow, we're going to have the Colonel, the New Hampshire State Police will be kicking things off, Colonel Hall. We're going to have members of the recruitment and training. We're going to have past folks that were such a big part of this, like former Captain or Major John Morosco, who's now head of Department of Motor Vehicles. Mark Armaganian, who's a regular on our show, Chief Armaganian, many years with one of the commanders of the State Police. He would quarterback this segment with me, and of course he's on now with New Hampshire Liquor Enforcement as chief there. Commissioner Quinn, all of public safety. We're going to have some of the other folks who've worked there, and tomorrow's going to be wonderful. And that's at Auto Fair Honda, and you can come by that showroom, look at their wonderful vehicles. But here's the deal: it could save you $30 if you want to come. Just get an oil change tomorrow or schedule an appointment. Auto Fair Honda. They're rolling back the prices just for our listeners. They're rolling back the prices 10 years. $17.50 a complete oil change. I call them the drive-through places now. They're like $50, $49.50. That's with inflation. So tomorrow, and in November only, and of course we're going into Thanksgiving. Come by and you can, while you're getting the oil change, call now today though, because appointments. And while that, the 30 or 40 minutes while you wait they have great showrooms there. Comfortably wait. You can watch the show and thank the men and women of the state police. So you can wait while you're getting your oil change, because you're going to need an oil change going into the winter. Why not get a great one? And $17.50, $30 you're going to save just to come in tomorrow. So I want to see some folks that are getting their oil change tomorrow on Auto Fair Honda. Save $30, 9 to noon, our 15th anniversary. And this is kind of an important part of the show. In part, we're going to be dedicating part of the show, or dedicating in part the show tomorrow to the former Franklin Police Chief Bradley Haas, Chief Haas, who lost his life, killed in the line of duty Friday afternoon at the Concord State Hospital. So thoughts and prayers. I think he was 63. New Hampshire State Hospital. We're going to dedicate the show in part tomorrow to the former Franklin Police Chief Haas, and thank him and his family, and thoughts and prayers to his family as they go into the holidays. Just such a sad situation Friday afternoon. And we're going to dedicate the show in part to Chief Haas tomorrow, our 15th anniversary of our New Hampshire State Police segment tomorrow. So that's really good stuff. And then Wednesday, this is from a local, I think a local listener I don't have in front of me. We're going to have a special take on Thanksgiving. He's written a book about it, going back to the whole beginning, as they say. We'll be doing that. And tomorrow, though, we'll be looking forward to that show tomorrow. All right. Are people going to be spending money? J-Dog mentioned all the cyber stuff and Black Friday and all the trying to get you to buy and all that stuff. We're going to hear from Doug Tengden on the economic side, worldwide market perspective. Top of the 10 o'clock, Dan Egan with us, talking about the Warren Miller films in the film this Friday, I believe, in Plymouth. They're going to be showing called All Time. Warren Miller, we're going to give away some stuff. And Dan, of course, the general manager of Tenny Mountain Ski Area, which is now the official ski area of Good Morning New Hampshire. We have an official ski area. We'll be telling you stories all winter with a special snow reports and trail reports on Fridays to get you out there boarding and skiing. And Tenny Mountain, 1,500 vertical feet. They're getting that fully open again, so that's pretty cool. Dan will be joining us top of the 10 o'clock. Exciting news with our great friends at 6 Hour in the new year. Won't tell you what that is in the show in terms of partnership on some stuff, and pretty excited about that. So we have a lot going on, a lot to be grateful for. And by the way, when I mentioned what happened Friday afternoon at the New Hampshire State Hospital in the secure area there, and the killing, dying in the line of duty, former Chief Haas and state trooper killing the suspect who had been a patient there once before, I guess, 6 or 7 years earlier. What happened this morning in Franklin, ironically, the same community, unrelated, barricade suspect in sort of a standoff, New Hampshire State Police SWAT team. When are we going to wake up in this country Look at what happened in Lewiston, Maine. When are we all going to wake up on this? And I'm being very serious going to a break and realize that we have a mental health crisis. We have a mental health crisis. You know, just in some quick commentary, I saw an article. I'll come back to this at some point in the show. Even the New York Times did an editorial that half of the crap we did during COVID was all for naught. Unnecessary and damaging to young people, the remote learning that lasted too long. And I was saying it at the time, why aren't kids back in school right here in New Hampshire? We should have gotten them back months before they did. And it was, I'm going to say it, it wasn't Governor Sununu, it was the public superintendents and administrators who didn't want to bring the kids back here and in the country. We did a lot of damage by that stupid policy. And it was not smart. And I was hearing from special ed teachers, some close to me, that was saying that these kids need in-person learning and they're really suffering. And what did we do? Crazy, moronic, blanking policies, whether it was laid out by the CDC or the NEA. We hurt kids from a virus they weren't even threatened by in any terminal sense unless they had some underlying health issues. That's why more than 80% of the people out there that have their head screwed on finally are not even getting the COVID booster. No offense to Martha Stewart or Kelsey of the Chiefs in these ads. Half of it, moronic, crazy, did nothing in the long run. So why don't we talk about mental health, which, by the way, was made worse because of this stuff, all the remote, stay-at-home, shelter, non-essential businesses closing, but yet Walmart and Home Depot and Lowe's and could be open, and the small store downtown that might have had traffic full of 3 or 4 people had to be closed. I mean, it was just the worst period that I recall ever in my adult or any time in my life where I just saw stupidity all around me all the time. That's why I'm so glad Fauci's gone. I hope he's teaching at a small college somewhere. Follow the money, right? Wouldn't you love to have a breakdown of the billions spent and where it went? Oh, my goodness. Moderna, Pfizer, the whole thing. But it was just crazy, the whole thing. But why don't we focus on mental health, anxiety, depression? These incidents where multiple people are hurt, almost all of them at the heart of it, regardless of the weapon used, is mental health. When are we going to wake up and smell that rose and understand it and really talk about it without the stigmas, really do something about it? That was a lot of my point in the Veterans Town Hall we did Thursday at the Capitol Center for the Arts Bank in New Hampshire stage with the presidential and local state candidates. Mental health. We don't do enough to support our veterans when they come back, whether it's physical or mental health, emotional, PTSD. But mental health is a crisis, and I think we better understand that because so many innocent people are taken when one person snaps, and it's really we need to do more about it. We don't. All this other stuff that we spend billions and trillions of dollars on. More people out there have someone in their family, a loved one, dealing with some degree of mental health, anxiety, depression. I'm a lot more worried about that than heart attack, stroke, cancer, car accidents, you name it. Addiction, too often goes along with it. Some commentary. We're going to come back. Quick update. Doug Tengden on the economic side, some shopping and retail stuff. Back on Good Morning New Hampshire, the Pulse of an H in a moment.
News, information, and discussion. This is 107.7 WTPL.
Hey, it's Big Pete, and this is Repeat from the Appleseed Restaurant in beautiful Bradford, New Hampshire. And where else? And beautiful Lake Sunapee. And boy, what a season. We had an amazing season on the boat, looking forward to next year, and it's never too early to start planning a charter or event for next year. What about catering, Dad?
Catering's been pretty crazy. You know the website.
AppleseedCatering.com has all of our menus, and it's a website dedicated just to catering.
No pictures of me.
Well, you're right. We're open Tuesday through Sunday
from 4:30 to 8.
Sunday mornings for the breakfast buffet,
8:30 to 11.
And you can always order online at appleseedrestaurant.com through our new fancy online ordering system. It's wicked cool.
Speaking of wicked cool, how about Team Appleseed?
We couldn't do it without our amazing staff. We're super lucky, very fortunate with all that's gone on over the past few years to have such an amazing crew. We couldn't do it without. With that said, we have gravy.
We will give you all you need.
We have gravy.
From your friends at Appleseed.
Head of the Bank of America Institute, Liz Everett Crisberg. Liz, thanks for being with us.
It's great to be here. Thanks for inviting me on.
Always a pleasure. Tell us about Bank of America Institute, and which I think launched in the last year or so.
We did. We launched about 54 weeks ago, so just about a year ago. And we're really a think tank within Bank of America We launched because we recognized that we were sitting on a treasure trove of data that we could leverage to really uncover some unique insights. And it's not just insights we want to share with our clients and our customers, but we want to share these with the public, with policymakers, with communities, to help everybody really make more informed and better decisions. The best part about this is that all of our insights, our publications, are available for free to anybody at bankofamerica.com/institute. So interesting stuff to think about, and all data and insights we're happy to share with everybody.
Well, I'm glad the public can benefit from Bank of America's Institute. Liz, thank you so much for putting the spotlight on data. Thank you very much, Liz.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Grow your savings with a high-yield share certificate from Service Credit Union. Share certificates, much like CDs at a bank, allow you to earn guaranteed dividends on a deposit balance with terms ranging from 6 months to 5 years. Check out the Calculate My Earnings feature on the Service Credit Union website. Start earning with as little as $500 and watch your money grow. Insured by the NCUA. Visit servicecu.org/earn.
Hi, I'm Barry Glennon, Director of the Bureau of Securities Regulation in New Hampshire. By now, you've probably heard about our free investor protection tool, InvestSmartNH.gov, powered by the New Hampshire Secretary of State. But are you taking advantage of all it has to offer? Whether you're a new or experienced investor, InvestSmartNH can help reduce risk and keep your money safe. From broker background checks to the latest tips, InvestSmartNH remains the one website scam artists don't want you to find. Check it out and put it to work for you at InvestSmart.nh.gov.
Good morning, New Hampshire. Powered by GMI Asphalt and Paving. Now hiring seasonal workers. Call Christine or simply text PAVE to 78,000. That's PAVE to 78,000. Now, back to Jack Heath on the Pulse of New Hampshire.
All right, Doug, taking you with a quick snapshot of holiday spending as inflation takes its bite out of pocketbooks and wallets. Take it away, Doug. Good morning, Worldwide Market Perspective. Hope you're well.
Good morning, Jack. Yeah, I've found that the best barometer of holiday spending is how things have been going the previous couple months, and back to school turned out pretty well for a lot of retailers. So I would expect that holiday spending will continue to hold up. It is true, food is much more expensive than it was a couple of years ago, and that's cutting into everybody's spending. The turkey costs more this year than it cost last year, than it cost the year before. That's true. But I think we'll probably have a pretty good Christmas.
Yeah, well, people seem to find it, right? Even if you just bump that credit card up a little bit more.
Yeah. I think people have still got some money in the bank. The indication is that people are still spending down their COVID savings.
Oh, no, please. Oh, no. Doug, I love you like a brother. Don't say that word. And don't tell me that people are still, unless they hoarded unless they're on Moderna and Pfizer's board, that they're still squirreled away COVID savings, because it's going to make me throw up my chocolate peanut butter bar I had this morning.
Well, Jack, I don't know where people came up with the $160 billion that they spent at Walmart this last quarter. That was Walmart's revenues for the third quarter, and that was up 4% from $152 billion the year before. I don't know where they came up with that, except that we've got 3.5%, 3.9% unemployment. I don't know, in the Upper Valley, it's probably 1%. Nobody can get workers here. And we've got incomes growing with inflation right now. So I think, but they're growing more than inflation. And so they've been spending more than they had.
All right. Well, listen, I appreciate it. What are your plans for Thanksgiving? You going to be at home or traveling?
Going to be home. The kids are coming here, and then we'll be traveling after Thanksgiving. But going to be home and hopefully get out to Killington to cheer on Michaela. She's coming back.
Oh, yeah, for that early race.
Yeah, for the World Cup race. Cheer her on and see if she can pick up another Crystal Globe this year.
Amazing, young, great athlete, great person. Amazing.
We are seeing one of the best female skiers ever.
Yeah,
I mean that's
really?
that's the astounding thing is it's one of the best ever. Certainly in the top 3 of all time, which is really saying something.
Yeah, and when Bodie Miller is cranking it up in New Hampshire as well, amazing. Before
Bodie was great. Bodie was great, but Michaela is truly one of the best ever. This is one for the record books.
All right, Doug, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Doug Tangton, Worldwide Market Perspective.
Jack, have a great week.
Speaking of skiing, perfect segue. Dan Egan coming up, talking about the Warren Miller film all time. It's going to be showing this Friday in Plymouth. Dan has all the details. Of course, our official ski area sponsor, Good Morning New Hampshire, and 2023-2024 season as we go into the holiday period. Tenny Mountain, right near Plymouth State University. Tenny Mountain, back open full as of Christmas week. All right. Hey, Google. Hey, Alexa. Play the Pulse of an 8. J-Dog on the boards. Jack Heath on a nice-looking Monday. A reminder, you can get all the on-demand stuff at the Pulse of an H. Thousands of you listening, streaming each morning nationally and internationally, and people out there finding us from all over the country and the world, and we appreciate, including our friend Yari, north of Helsinki, Finland. I can't believe he's listening, and good stuff happening on the Pulse of an H. Tomorrow, I'll be live at Auto Fair Honda in Manchester, 9 to noon, across the mall, New Hampshire. Manchester tomorrow, Tuesday, as we celebrate our 15th anniversary of our New Hampshire State Police segment tomorrow at Auto Fair Honda Manchester. Come by and say hi. 15 years, New Hampshire State Police segment, the only segment of its kind in the country that airs weekly on a regular basis on a network of commercial broadcast stations. So that's tomorrow, our 15th anniversary of our state police segment, and many of the former and current commanders in law enforcement, as we thank the men and women who make a big difference on public safety, and we support all of them. All right, nice looking Monday. Jack Heath, J-Dog on the boards, back with Egan talking about Warren Miller next on Good Morning Hampshire, the Pulse of an H.
Hi, I'm Barry Glennon, Director of the Bureau of Securities Regulation in New Hampshire. By now, you've probably heard about our free investor protection tool, InvestSmartNH.gov, powered by the New Hampshire Secretary of State. But are you taking advantage of all it has to offer? Whether you're a new or experienced investor, InvestSmartNH can help reduce risk and keep your money safe. From broker background checks to the latest tips, InvestSmartNH remains